Hello and welcome to A Better Morning. I'm Heather Klein. We debate the trending topics in sports from a sports betting point of view. Let's welcome today's panel. Host of Her Story in the Making and co-host of Lightning Round, Britt Flynn. Head of content of Fantasy Alarm and award-winning host on SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio, Howard Bender. Fantasy Alarm lead NFL analyst, Andrew Cooper. And the fantasy exec, welcome back, Corey Parson.
Corey, how was your luxurious one-day vacation?
Oh, it was all right. It was cool. Got some stuff done, you know what I'm saying? And now I am back in the building to rock the house, you know what I'm saying? So everybody else get ready for second place.
So we get ready to shake things up here again. You got the Braves cap going against Britt's Dodgers cap. It's like a little battle of the National League.
It might be the NLCS.
It probably is.
I think so.
John and Pemba set the bar pretty high sitting in that chair, Corey. So you got work to do.
I'm worried.
All right, let's rock the house. Kareem Hunt, Ezekiel Elliott, Leonard Fournette, and Dalvin Cook have yet to find a new home. All are 27 years old outside of Fournette, who is 28. They are considered veterans and on the back end of their career. In fantasy football, the strategy was to take a running back first, but we see a trend moving towards getting a top-tier wide receiver. Also, there's the evolution of the mobile quarterback. Has the weight of the running back position changed? And do you think the four free agents will be couch surfing when week one arrives? Welcome back, Corey. You're up.
So, no, I don't think they'll be couch surfing when week one arrives. You know, obviously, the financial implications of the season will take hold at some place. And once they realize the money they want is not going to be there, they'll go ahead and settle in and play for, you know, the money that's out there. Now, as far as the position goes, I mean, listen, all of those dudes outside of Kareem Hunt were dominant fantasy backs, and Hunt was to some extent in their day. They're guys that can catch the football, run, block, excellent near the goal line. Those days are gone for these backs. Now, there's still plenty of backs that have that, and they tend to go early in fantasy football drafts. So, yes, in the NFL, the running back position has changed with mobile quarterbacks and stuff like that, and running backs becoming more of a weapon in the passing game. But in fantasy football, you still want some rock-solid RBs, or else you'll be at the bottom of your league.
Yeah, I think the fact that we've seen more multi-back situations develop over the last couple of seasons, it's cheapened it sort of in the sense that they're splitting carries and stuff like that. But that does, to me, increases the value of those running backs who are going to see all the touches, who are the every down backs. If people want to bypass that in fantasy, by all means, go ahead and bypass that in fantasy. I still think that the value is pretty high. As far as what are these guys going to be couch surfing? No, I think, Dalvin Cook's already got the contract offer from Miami. I think Zeke will go either back to Dallas or land with Kellen Moore and the Chargers. Fournette and Hunt might take them a little bit longer, but any kind of injury in training camp will probably hand those guys a deal.
Yeah, I think once training camp starts, we'll see these guys getting signed. Like someone won't live up to expectations. They'll get demoted to the practice squad, and one of these guys will come in and take over that role. I will say that it's a little ridiculous that running backs are seen as ancient by the time they're 27, and I think that it's bad for the game. I understand why these running backs are demanding more money and refusing to sign unless they have a deal, because the average career length for a running back in the NFL is almost a year less than the league average as a whole. The way the NFL is set up, teams are allowed to run these guys into the ground, exploit them, and then discard them before their rookie contracts are up. Jalen Smith said on Good Morning Football this morning that he switched to linebacker from running back because he, quote, wanted to initiate the hit and not take the hit. And with the lack of money involved, why would anybody choose to play this position in the future? It's going to dilute the product down the road.
Yeah, and us in the fantasy football community, we love analytics, but this is absolutely a product of analytics. You look at the numbers, and the age apex for the different positions are completely different. I mean, a guy like Andrew Whitworth can be an all-pro offensive lineman at 37, 38 years old. We've seen quarterbacks play until they're 40 now. The wide receivers and tight ends are, they hit their stride at age 27, 28, 29, according to the numbers. And running back, it's 24 to 26. And they say they're out the door at 27. And to Britt's point, a guy like Najee Harris, who is a older prospect, if they pick up his 5th-year option because he's a first-round pick and then franchise tag him, he won't get a second contract, a free agent market contract, until he's 29 years old. So they got to figure something out, man.
I think a lot of it, the solution, we need to up the rookie contract minimum for these running backs, because not only are we seeing them only play on their rookie contract, we're seeing them get drafted later and later and later. So teams don't even have to pay them a good amount on their rookie deal to begin with. And I think that if this continues, then we're going to see a lot less talented running backs enter the system and enter the NFL. They're going to switch and play other positions.
Yeah, I think that's an inherent problem around the NFL right now. I mean, we've seen it already with position comparisons when you're talking about the franchise tag. You can get a wide receiver 3 or 4 on a team making more than a top tight end. And are you valuing the position that much more if you're the 3rd target or the 4th target on your team? I think that there is definitely an inherent problem with the sliding scale of positional money that's being doled out. The problem is that the shelf life for running backs is a lot, it's a lot shorter. There's a bigger pounding that they do take. And I think that's, obviously teams don't want to invest in a guy who's going to get banged up or really decline in value over those first, 2 or 3 years of his career.
Yeah, it's a copycat league too, where you look at Bill Belichick and he's been splitting the backfield for forever, and it worked so long that now everybody's starting to do it. And on the flip side, you look at a guy like Todd Gurley and what happened with him in that contract, and nobody wants to fall into that trap. So it really is unfortunate, because the fans and fantasy football and everything revolves around these guys, and then the league treats them like trash.
That's why I lowered the value on Corey's contract. Just saying. I'm just making sure you're awake there, Corey.
I'm ready to roll. I'm right awake.
dreaming of yesterday's vacation day.
Dreaming of a day off. All right. Let's all just take a moment.
Oh,
I think we just lost Heather.
You were having a moment, Howard. I just wanted to give you that.
Didn't want to interrupt.
Listen, I have these sporadic moments all the time. Let me take it when I can get it, but just keep going.
Okay. I'll get in where I fit in, I guess. Baker Mayfield, Mac Jones, Aaron Rodgers, and Russell Wilson have one thing in common. They were among the worst in quarterback rating. Which starting quarterback do you see having a comeback season in the NFL? Howard, you're up first.
I mean, I guess I'll just put my Jets fandom hat on here and just talk about the fact that Aaron Rodgers is now he's, with the Jets. He feels rejuvenated, or at least that's what he's saying. And he showed up for OTAs and, sure, the calf is a little sore, but I mean, he'll be fine in training camp. I think the key here for Rodgers is that he's not at odds with his offensive coordinator or his head coach. He spent the last 2-3 seasons fighting back and forth with LaFleur in Green Bay because LaFleur wanted to run his particular offense and Rodgers wanted complete autonomy at the line. And so I think the fact that things are going to run a little smoother for Rodgers now, I think is going to help it out. His peripheral numbers didn't look terrible. It's just, he just didn't really have it in him to play for Green Bay anymore.
Yeah, I'm going to second that. I think that it's going to be Aaron Rodgers, but I do think that Russell Wilson is a very close second and does have a chance of perhaps taking that number 1 spot. But I think that it's going to be Rodgers because he dealt with injuries and a very young wide receiver core last season, but his resume speaks for itself. He's got talent and experience to succeed on a new offense, especially now that he's reunited with Nathaniel Hackett and has a legitimate wide receiver 1 in Garrett Wilson. His career quarterback rating is 103.6, second to only Patrick Mahomes, which means, yes, he's even better than Tom Brady, who has a career quarterback rating of 97.2. The 4-time MVP is going to bounce back in a big way, and I think he's going to lead the Jets to their first playoff appearance since 2010.
A lot of Jets fans in the house today, so let's talk about the Pats. right? We're willing to give Trevor Lawrence a pass because he played with Urban Meyer on that mess. We're willing to give Russell Wilson a pass for the Nathaniel Hackett business. Why can't Mac Jones bounce back from having to play with rocket scientist Matt Patricia? I mean, people say that Derek Carr is going to be good because he got away from Josh McDaniels when Mac Jones is good with Josh McDaniels. He had the second highest completion percentage of any rookie ever, behind only Dak Prescott. Now he gets Juju Smith-Schuster, Mike Gesicki. Bill Belichick is still the head coach. So, Vegas is going to give him 7.5 wins on that alone. Why can't Mac Jones have a bounce back season this year and step up into the range of serviceable QB at the least, which Mac to serviceable is a bigger leap than Rodgers from good to still good.
Yeah, so this is basically going to end up being the Jets versus the Patriots in this battle of now AFC quarterbacks. Because I'm with Coop. I think my man Mac Jones turns it around, bounces back, have a good season. Listen, you can't have washed up special teams coaches coaching a second-year quarterback. You know what they say about a second-year quarterback. You get him to play as good as he played in his rookie season, you might as well consider that as an improvement. And Mac did regress last year. You know what I'm saying? The yards per attempt went down. The completion percentage went down. Everything went down. Well, that's because the way he was coaching went down as well. Mac Jones is one of the most intelligent quarterbacks. He led his team to the playoffs as a rookie. I like Mac Jones to have a big bounce back season with a real offensive coordinator this year.
Corey, let me ask you this, because I'm curious, and this is something that I've been concerned about and why I didn't select Mac Jones. Do you think that having these wide receivers like with a low ADOT like Juju, having Devontae Parker, who's past his prime, and not really much else in that receiving core, is that going to affect him more than we think?
No, I don't look at it that way. See, whenever the quarterback struggles, the first thing people point to is, oh, well, look at his weapons. To me, I look at the quarterback as the weapon. When you're the quarterback, you're supposed to make do and make the best of what you have. Throughout all those championship years, the New England Patriots and Tom Brady weren't having great wide receivers. Yeah, they had Randy Moss and some guys pop here and there, but they were serviceable and got the job done with the talent they have, and I expect Jones to do the same this year. I think the quarterback makes the receivers, not the receivers make the quarterback.
Yep. I agree with that statement, but I think that we're sitting here. Coop blamed Matt Patricia. Granted, Matt Patricia is a knucklehead. There's no reason that he should have been doing it. But come on, let's face facts. Bill Belichick runs that team. Bill Belichick handles all that. So if Matt Patricia's play calling was that poor, if Matt Patricia's the way he was controlling that team was that poor, Bill Belichick's going to step in. And so obviously that really wasn't the case. So while, yes, I could see Mac Jones taking a little bit of a step forward now that he's got Bill O'Brien in there as a competent OC, and he's going to throw in a bunch of the elements of the Alabama offense to help Mac Jones feel at home again. I think, yes, we'll see a step up, but I'm not looking at Mac Jones as that type of. He's a game manager to me. He's not
nothing wrong with that, Howard.
QB.
I don't think there's nothing wrong with being a game manager. I think, you don't need to be Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes to win. You can be a game manager and win. And don't get me wrong, Matt had a bad year last year. He turned the ball over way too many times, but I think he'll be better this year.
Right. And people forget that the Patriots were a one game, a couple kick returns by Nyheim Hines away from actually making the playoffs. So it's not crazy for him if he just turns into a serviceable QB for this team to make some noise.
All right. The second half of the MLB season begins today, and there's a lot to look forward to. The trade season is around the corner. Big markets like the Braves and the Dodgers. Did we plan this?
I did for sure.
Where are the boxing gloves? Come on.
Right.
And attendance and TV ratings are up, thanks in part due to the recent rule changes. What are you looking forward to the most in the second half of the MLB season? Britt, you're up.
Well, we all know I'm excited about the Dodgers to make a run in the second half of the season. That's why I specifically wore my Dodgers hat. But I'm not going to sit here and bore you with all that. I think watching how the Angels and Ohtani situation plays out is going to be very interesting. Whether the Braves' momentum can continue with Acuna's historic first half of the season, and whether the Orioles can keep it together and make the postseason for the first time since 2016. I think that the rule changes have been very good for the sport, both in adjusting the length of the game and making it so much more excited with stolen bases. There's a ton to look forward to as the MLB enters the second part of the year. And, you know, I might have to tune into a couple games other than just the Dodgers.
Yeah. So us here as professional sports talker abouters, there's nothing that we like more than a good trade deadline.
Yes.
The changes that are coming, the moving and the shaking, the sitting at my computer, pressing F5 while nothing happens, but even just the speculation of, are the Cardinals going to blow it up and trade one of the 5 guys named Jordan that they have that are going to be free agents next year? Like, is Lucas Giolito going to get moved? Like, if you're a small market team, just imagine Lucas Giolito coming to the squad, the big boy on the mound, or a Jack Flaherty or a Shane Bieber or I don't know, James Pat, anybody on the Red Sox, right? Like, it would be nice to see the movement, and I love speculating about it, and I love when something actually happens because then it gives us something to talk about.
I think I'll probably be most excited for the end of the Major League Baseball season. I'm 100% honest with you. But not, obvious reasons, you know what I'm saying? But also, the postseason is the part of the season that is the best. And, a couple of nice autumn nights in the boogie down Bronx, New York, with 50,000 New Yorkers going crazy is always good for television and for my mental spirit. But I do think that this upcoming season, when we get to October and towards the end, it's going to be interesting to see what the New York Yankees do with Aaron Boone, because this has got to come to an end. You got the owner of this team talking about, I don't see why the fans are mad, because it hasn't been a trophy. It hasn't been a ticker tape parade in the Canyon of Champions since 2009. That's not acceptable.
I will gladly second everything Corey's just said about the New York Yankees. There's a lot going on that I'm excited about there. Sean Casey now takes over as their hitting coach. That is going to be actually a really nice move. I'm very excited about that. Love Sean Casey. But listen, I've got to side with Coop here. The trade deadline is going to be absolutely bonkers this year. What I'm looking forward to is I'm looking forward to seeing what these teams do as far as the Reds, the Orioles, the Diamondbacks, these teams with the young superstars that are making their move through MLB right now, which nobody expected. And I think that's absolutely fantastic. So John Mozeliak, president of baseball operations of the Cardinals, has already said they're selling. We know that the Mets are selling Scherzer and Verlander. There are going to be so many big names thrown around back and forth. Where's Shohei Ohtani going to land? I'm going to take up extra time here right now because it's baseball and I'm last. Because, listen, Artie Moreno of the Angels said that he doesn't want to trade Shohei Ohtani. But guess what? Shohei Ohtani's not going to re-sign with the Angels. They're not going to give him enough of a package, that enough money for him to stay. So where's Shohei Ohtani going to land? If the Angels keep him, they're going to lose him for nothing. They're going to get draft pick compensation for, sorry, Corey, the modern day Babe Ruth.
Howard, Babe Ruth not real.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? Fictional characters, dude.
Hey, I will be honest though, it'll be cool in October to see, different scenery in the postseason. If we can see a Great American Small Park, or if we can see Oriole Park at Camden Yards, you know what I'm saying? That'd be something different. That'd be, I might put that on, when there's no football on.
October baseball in Camden Yards. Yeah, that's a magic.
It's been a long time since we've seen that. You know what I mean? That little dude, Jeffrey, whatever his name
Jeffrey
is,
Mayer.
He's a grown man now.
And I gotta say, the saying of the day today is definitely ticker tape parade in the Canyon of Champions.
There you go.
Also, can we just bring up something interesting? Because as Ellie De La Cruz comes up more and more, and the more interested that I get in him, does anybody know that he has a twin brother that's like 5'8"?
No, what?
His twin brother is 5'8".
He didn't eat him in the womb? Well,
that's
now
I just
zero respect to Ellie De La Cruz. If you don't eat a shorter, smaller, tinier baby in the womb, what good are you?
I just think that's what I'm interested in, is finding out more about De La Cruz's little brother.
You know what's going to be exciting for baseball? Really, the fact that teams have been incentivized now to bring up their youngsters. And we've seen this, throughout. The Orioles have done it, the Reds have done it. Even the A's, who are headed over to Las Vegas today, starts a new era for them because they're bringing up their 2 top prospects in Major League Baseball. And so I'm excited for that. I'm excited to see all of these young kids coming up because now teams are looking for, you've got a whole second half. Yes, Corbin Carroll's got the edge in NL Rookie of the Year. Yes, we've seen Josh Young probably, kind of coming close to running away with it in the American League. But seeing all of these kids now coming up, this is what it's all about. It's the new blood in the playoffs. It's the youngsters who are coming up. It's rejuvenated the game of baseball, in my opinion. I know some people still hate the new rules and what they're seeing on the field. Me, shorter games, more exciting games. Come on. Ellie De La Cruz, right before the All-Star break, hits an RBI single, steals second, steals third, steals home. Come on. How do you not fall in love with the romantic side of baseball when something like that's happening?
We can't bring up the A's without doing A's fans the honor of saying, sell the team.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Yep.
that's, it's tied up with emails right now. Oh, no, wrong coach. Never mind.
Wrong coach.
And trying to figure out where they're going to put the new stadium. That contract went back and forth from site to site to site, and it was wild.
As long as they're out of E. coli Stadium in Oakland, I think we're all very happy about that.
Now it's time for our new Dealer's Choice. You'll give us our bet of the day. It can be on the day's MLB action, futures odds, or prop bets. Coop, what do you have for us today?
Today, ladies and gentlemen, I am breaking all the rules. My finance professor back at Bentley University would have told me not to bet on future bets because of the time value of money and tying up that money. Anybody in this industry will tell you not to bet on future running back bets because they're just going to get hurt, and there's 2 ways to get out. But I cannot help but look at the Los Angeles Rams when I do my world famous and renowned running back questionnaire that's now in the Fantasy Alarm Draft Guide, and look at Cam Akers and the fact that there's no one else on that team that can do a thing or split that workload. And the fact that towards the end of the year, he really gained some steam with back-to-back 100-yard rushing games, and say to myself, 750 yards is the line. That's like 44 yards a game. I'll bet on Cam Akers to have 50 rushing yards a game next year, and I'll make some money at -110.
Yeah, that's not a bad bet right there. And I'm looking at Cam Akers on some draft boards, and you just made him a little bit more attractive, Coop. I'm gonna go to college football. Different sport, blades grass, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna give you a little 5-1 future. That'd be a nice sweat this upcoming season. And I'm going to say that the Notre Dame Fighting Irish qualify for the college football playoff this year. They had a decent year last year, probably played Ohio State better than anybody else for the most part. They had a couple of hiccups, the Marshall lost, and after that, they went on a run. This is one of the best defenses college football has seen in years. Getting Sam Hartman in the transfer portal. They got Ohio State, USC, and Clemson during the season. So there is a path to the college football playoff. So give me Notre Dame at 5-1 to be in the college football playoff.
I'm gonna go with baseball here because it's back for the second half. Now, please do not take my Yankee card away, but I am looking at the Boston Red Sox for Friday night action here. Red Sox won 8 of their last 9 heading into the All-Star break. The players don't want the Red Sox to be sellers. They think that they can advance or push for the wild card. Brayan Bello on the mound. He's pitched at least 7 innings in 4 of his last 5 starts. No more than 2 earned runs allowed. Cubs have been soft against right-handed pitching. Wind's not blowing out at Wrigley. Cubs striking out at 24% rate against right-handers. Kyle Hendricks pitching to more contact than ever. Lefty bats like Devers and Yoshida are going to give him some trouble. So give me the Red Sox on the money line at -120.
Let's go, Red Sox.
Love it. I swear that Coop and I didn't discuss both doing running back futures today, but here we are. because I'm going to go with Bijan Robinson's rushing total of over 1,075.5 yards at -112 odds on FanDuel. We know that Bijan was drafted to be a bell cow back. He's going to get the volume to hit this mark. Even Tyler Algier hit over 1,000 yards last season with only 37.5% of the team's total carries. And Bijan's going to have way more than that, injury notwithstanding. He hit that mark in his last 2 seasons at Texas. And yes, I know that the NFL is a different game, but he gets 5 additional games on the professional schedule to kind of handicap and make up for the difference in competition. Bijan is a generational talent, and in Arthur Smith's system, he's going to smash.
Wow. I said I was going to break all the rules, and Britt said, hold my beer. I'm doing a rookie running back. Whew. Spicy time.
Actually, it's not a bad way.
I don't think it's bad either, actually, really.
Especially at that low, he might hit that by week 9.
That's right.
That's what I'm saying. Well, like,
dude's going to see 750 carries this year, right?
Yeah, that's what, when I was doing these bets, I looked at the volume that Algier had and the fact that he didn't even really start because it was Cordero Patterson.
They're coming for Corey.
Corey, what did you do yesterday?
It's the alarm team. But yeah, even with that carry split, he still had over 1,000. I think that this mark is cake. Like, how could you not take this, especially at -112?
I wish I loved anything as much as Arthur Smith loves to run the ball.
I know, it's wild, dude. He's doubled down on it, and he doubled down, and he really he battened down the hatches with they brought back Lindstrom, they brought back Keith Smith, they brought in Jonnu Smith. Like, they're building the goon squad over there. I mean, you got Kyle Pitts and Drake London. If you really think about those guys are monsters, right? 6'4", 6'6". Like, I would hate to be a nickel corner when they when they're calling the power over there, right?
And I just have to tell you guys what I put to Corey in the chat. Notre Dame and Arkansas finally play each other in 2028. I'm already setting us up for a future bet several years down the road. Because I like that. I like that pick a lot.
I'm not a big Notre Dame fan, but I like the head coach, and I think it's something there. You know what I'm saying? So,
and their defense is so good.
And they have one of the best defenses in college football.
2028, though. I mean, based on inflation, that autographed dollar is going to need to be an autograph.
It's crazy how they got the matchups planned for 2028 already. You know what I'm saying?
And they can't even figure out the conference splits yet. Yeah. But we've got a schedule.
Well, it's fine, though, because we all know it's going to be the same damn teams it always is, right? Alabama and Clemson and Notre Dame.
Well, it ain't been Clemson in a while, but I don't think it's going to be this year either. But it's going to be fun, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking forward to the upcoming football seasons.
Truly.
Good.
All right, guys.
We got a -120 bet from Howard for the night. Okay, so that's good. We just had all futures. Okay, but Howard, I'll tell you on that.
Let's go, Red Sox.
Oh, no, I forgot. I'm not telling you on that.
Right? I mean, Coop, you're ruining the whole thing. Why can't we just quietly place the bet?
No, I'm going to play the bet against the Red Sox versus the Yankees. Oh, my God.
Just sing some Sweet Caroline for us on the way out.
I swear, that's like a hostage situation. I don't know anybody that likes singing that yet. Everyone does.
They do. They're forced to. That was today's edition of A Better Morning. Thank you to Corey, Howard, Britt, and Coop. Make sure you check out Quick Out Alarm Fantasy Football today at 1 p.m. Take care.